See that?
Mark,
Tim? Yeah,
I'll cover Jonathan's items.
okay. All right. So we'll call the Commissioners' meeting to order at 10 o'clock. All those who are able, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. All right. Do we have any public comment for items not appearing on today's agenda? Seeing none, do we have any additions to the agenda this morning? No? Right, moving on to the meeting minutes. If they don't need any changes, we'll take a motion.
Okay, I'll move to approve the minutes from the meeting held July 15th.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from the meeting held on July 15th. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay. Motion carries. All right, we have a presentation, our mid-year report on the fee for local use funds, and it's Rika? Yeah, we'll be covering that. I'm assuming you're probably going to use a laptop, or?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, Aaron, who said that we just touched the
No,
pad?
just hit
and
the,
it'll
yeah,
go.
just hit the space bar and pop right up.
These are the funds that are collected on registrations for vehicles and trailers, and every penny of it goes toward either engineering roads or actually building them. So Rika, you ready?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, so greetings everyone. This presentation provides a mid-year update on Center County's Fee for Local Use program. I will briefly review the program from 2018 to 2025 and what is ahead for the remainder of the year. So let's look at the primary sources for transportation funding for Center County in 2025. First is the Act 13. It is the At-Risk Bridge Funds established under the Act 13 of 2012, funded through the impact fees collected from the natural gas drilling, provides funding support for locally owned structures, structurally deficient bridges that are considered at risk. Second is the liquid fuel. The Liquid Fuel Tax Act of 1931 is the Pennsylvania state law that established a tax on liquid fuels, primarily gasoline and diesels, to fund transportation infrastructures. And of course, the fee for local use, which is our $5 registration fee. Together, these funding sources allow us to support and sustain critical road and bridge projects across the county. The fee for local use complements these other programs by providing flexible funding that can be used where. So, as we continue, the Center County officially passed its $5 fee for local use ordinance on May 19, 2017 and renewed it on February 8, 2022 via resolution number 3 of 2022. So the revenue collected from this fee is dedicated exclusively to transportation projects, including the construction, maintenance, and repair of county and municipal roads and bridges. And it is important to note that Center County does not own any roads or bridges. Therefore, the funds are directed towards municipal infrastructure. The projects funded through this program are evaluated based on the following criteria: need, the urgency and necessity of the proposed project, including current condition of the infrastructure and the level of service it provides to the public. Projects addressing critical deficiencies or areas lacking basic transportation access receives higher priority. Then impact to safety. The extent to which the project will improve public safety by reducing hazards, preventing accidents, and enhancing safe mobility for all users, including motorists, pedestrians, and bicyclists. And third is past county contributions. Consideration is given to the history of financial support the county has already provided for similar projects in the municipality. This helps ensure equitable distribution of funds across different areas over time. And the last is the municipal and other contribution. The level of financial or in-kind support committed by the municipality or other funding partners Projects with matching funds or cost-sharing arrangements are often viewed more favorably as they demonstrate local investment and collaborative effort. Now let's talk about the benefits of fee for local use. First is all funds collected are returned to the county. The $5 vehicle registration fee is reinvested into the local transportation infrastructure projects. The funds are specifically allocated for improving roads, bridges, and related infrastructure, ensuring local benefit from locally generated revenue. Municipalities are not required to provide a match. Projects can still be considered for funding even if the municipality is unable to provide additional funds, which allows greater access to resources for communities with limited budgets. Pay for material costs to improve the county transportation network. This includes purchasing construction materials such as asphalt, concrete, gravel, steel, and signage needed for the road repairs, bridge improvement, and other infrastructures. Fee for local use helped secure $2 million in federal funding through the Roadmap initiative. This funding, which matches local investment with federal dollars, supported 2 municipal bridge projects, one in Walker Township and one in Potter Township. Another benefit is leveraging of additional funds. The slides highlight how fee for local use program helps leverage additional funding for transportation projects over the year 2018 to 2025. 4 funding categories are represented by color-coded lines. Other fundings by blue, municipal contribution by green, fee for local use grant by red, and total project cost by yellow. The fee for local use grant, red line, and the municipal contribution, green line, generally follow the similar trends, supporting projects alongside other sources. A notable dip occurs in 2021 and again in 2024, where all funding sources trends downward. This is because the funds from the fee for local use were allocated under the county bridge bundle reserve to cover the potential cost increase. However, it is important to note that from 2018 to 2025, an investment of approximately $1,420,000 from a fee for local use helped leverage about $857,000 in additional non-local funding, such as PennDOT multimodal grant for transportation project in the county. Combined with $1,131,000 in municipal contribution, the fee for local use funding supported the completion of transportation projects totaling approximately $3,408,000. So another benefit, it can be used to fill in the funding gaps for the projects. The fee for local use has been utilized to bridge funding gap in transportation projects, helping to cover shortfall when other sources are insufficient. In the top chart with heading liquid fuel tax as a sole funding source, blue line represents amount requested for projects from 2018 to 2025. Purple line represents amount actually funded by liquid fuel. Main thing to note is that the purple line is significantly lower than the blue line across all the years. The bottom chart with the title $5 vehicle fee helping bridge the funding shortfall. Blue line represents same requested funding values. Red line represents combined liquid fuel and fee for local use funding. And the point to note is that the red line is higher than the purple in the first chart, showing improved funding. When the liquid fuel tax was the sole funding source for the liquid fuel program, there was around $6,199,000 gap between the requested project amount and the grant awarded from 2018 to 2025, as shown in the first chart by magenta color. By incorporating fee for local use fund, this gap was reduced to $4,780,000 over the same period. Adding the $5 registration fee reduced the funding gap by about $1.4 million. So till now, as of now, the 24 projects have been completed and paid using fee for local use grant funding. The table represents a chronological list of completed projects with color coding. It includes the municipality name, project title, award amount, and project year. To date, a total of $1,011,536.24 in fee for local use grant funding has been used to complete 24 projects across the Centre County.
Rika, I noticed with the exception of Snowshoe appearing about 5 times, so I think that's Snowshoe Borough and Snowshoe Township. Otherwise, practically every township was getting a project. We're really spreading the money around.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. We have a map in the next slide that shows how the money
Oh,
is
a
spread
map.
over. Yeah,
Excellent.
I have a map. So as of now, 9 projects have not yet reached completion, and the table provides an overview of payments that are still pending for projects that have already received funding allocations. Consequently, a total amount of $533,066.37 in grant payments remains outstanding and will be dispersed upon completion of the project. So this is the map. The map displays fee for local use project locations from 2018 to 2025. The color are little okay. Blue dot indicate completed and paid projects, while the red dot represent pending projects. I guess it is little hard to notice, but the distribution indicates that the funding has been spread across various parts of Centre County rather than being concentrated in a single area. This demonstrates a county-wide approach to addressing transportation needs and supporting infrastructure improvement in multiple municipalities. So now, overall revenues and allocation. The total available revenue amounts to $2,187,802.64, which includes the previous balance fee for local use funds received from Commonwealth in June 2025 and interest earned to date. Out of this total, $1,325,135.77 has been committed to project allocations. $533,066.73 for fee for local use program and $792,068.07 for bridge bundle replacement projects. Assuming no changes to the bridge bundle project, the remaining unallocated balance as of now is $862,667.57 after accounting for current allocations. And that is the end of the slides.
Well done.
Yeah,
Very
well
thorough.
done, Rika, thank you. Great charts, and love that map that showed that the projects are spread all over the county and completed and underway. So
Thank you.
that was tremendous. I'll turn over to Commissioner Concepcion.
Yeah, thanks so much. So since I have come onto the Board of Commissioners after this program was in place, I wasn't part of some of the initial discussions, and it was helpful to see, a little bit of the history of the program, how it's been allocated thus far. Of course, I've been here as we've been working on this bridge bundle, and really glad that these funds have been able to help us fund bridges that otherwise, if they weren't repaired, would have been, really detrimental to the people who live in those areas to not have those bridges. So, often these projects are funds or projects that the municipality that are bigger than a municipality can take on in any one big bite all by themselves, and we're filling in this funding gap is really crucial to getting some of these projects done, because they may be once in a decade kind of projects for a community or a municipality to fund on their own. So this is helps fill that gap, and being able to spread the money across the county clearly is an important goal of this effort. So.
Thank you, Commissioner Concepcion. Commissioner Dershowitz?
I think Amber covered most of the highlight points, but there's, 860-some thousand left in the fund. Do we have any thoughts or feelings about where that money should be allocated, or any process for allocating it?
Do you have any?
Well, your annual transportation projects cycle is going to be opening here in August. So we encourage, all the municipalities to put in their applications for different, road projects. So I think we'll get a good indication once those applications come in, and go through that review process.
Very well done.
Yes. Thank you very much. And as Amber was mentioning, this fee for local use has built, or is building, 2 bridges in Howard and Bellefonte Borough, where it's the only way in and out of those neighborhoods. No bridge, no property value, no small businesses. And then I know there's at least a couple other bridges where if those bridges hadn't been repaired, it would have been a multi-mile detour for the residents of those neighborhoods. So thanks again for the thorough presentation. Any questions from the press?
Are you mandated to only spend this money on transportation projects?
Correct. That's all it can be spent on, and every penny has to be spent on
I
transportation.
mean, last week you were talking about switching some of the,
Oh, yes, the community development block grant funds.
Right.
Those are a little more flexible, and I think that's why, as Steve brought up, perhaps if we can utilize some of these fee for local use, liquid fuels or Act 13 money for the road project, that might be maybe a better fit.
and a $5 fee, is that the limit you can charge?
That's the limit, and off the top of my head, I think something in the ballpark of 35 or 40 of Pennsylvania's counties did implement that fee.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you very much. Great question.
Thank you very much.
Gary. All right, moving on to contracts and authorizations. John has a 20-year term agreement with Penn State.
Yes, I am. Good morning, Commissioners. I am happy to report that we have successfully completed negotiations with Penn State University on a new 20-year payment in lieu of taxes agreement, or otherwise known as a pilot agreement. The terms of the agreement reflect the positive relationship that Center County has with the university, and the county's negotiating team, which included myself, wholeheartedly recommend to the Commissioners to approve the new pilot agreement with Penn State University.
Well, that's wonderful, John. I know it's been multiple years of work, and we'd like to thank the Penn State team, including Julian and Mike and Penn State Legal, Penn State Finance. Very detailed project, but we're a strong partner with Penn State. We appreciate all the work we've done back and forth. I know we're a little older than they are, but it's been a great relationship since 1855. Hand it over to Commissioner Concepcion.
Yeah, I really just like to thank John and Richard from our staff for all of their work on this. And, it's been a bit of a long process over the past year or so, really working through this, but we were trying to be very detail-oriented and ensuring that we were demonstrating specifically some of the impacts of, costs from Penn State on county government, and then in turn, coming to an agreement that really, I think, is helpful for both parties. So really thankful to Penn State as well for working through this with us. So.
Thanks, Commissioner Concepcion. Commissioner Dershowitz, I think you just barely missed the last one, right?
No, I was here.
You were here, all right.
I was here. I think the main feature here is it's an incredibly complex discussion that you have, and it's not, the agreement is as of today. It is an ever-evolving conversation as businesses come and go from the university umbrella. But the relationship we've had with Penn State has been fantastic, and I think, if you've been paying attention for the last umpteen years, we have the opportunity to purchase vehicles and services and all sorts of things. We even have an ice cream social at the Grange Fair every year based on this agreement. So there's all sorts of features to this that benefit the citizens of Center County and what we do on a day-to-day basis. And I want to thank Julie and Mike and all the folks at Penn State for getting this done. I know it's been very complicated. We've gone back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. But John, you've shepherded this project very, very well. I want to thank you for that, and Richard and everybody else in our organization that has put all the pieces of this puzzle together. You know, a 20-year commitment is a pretty significant project, and I think this is going to be very valuable to us in the future and very fair. So, thank you.
Thanks, Commissioner Dershowitz. Any questions from the press on the 20-year agreement for payment in lieu of taxes with Penn State?
I'll wait till the end of the meeting.
Till the end of the meeting?
Sure.
Okay, all right. Jacob, Tim, anything? Nope. All right. So unless there's any other questions or comments, I think we could take a motion now.
I'll move to approve the pilot agreement with Penn State University.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the pilot agreement with Penn State University. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed,
Well done.
nay. Motion carries, yep. Well done, John and Richard and team, and also the team at Penn State.
I should mention Mark Kellerman too in assessment.
yes.
Mark was integral.
He's the one that keeps all the proper records of what goes where and how.
Yes.
So
That's
Yeah.
right, yep.
Yep.
And he's been here a while too, so he can give us some good background on.
Absolutely,
background
yes.
issues. And I think we also had a good solicitor team on this one too.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, moving forward, I believe, John, you're going to cover the capital project.
Yes, before you for consideration is a contract addendum with Mazzaro Construction Management Services to provide 4 additional months of construction phase services at the Community Services Building. There have been some change orders, things that we've discovered only after, you open up walls, things of that nature, and there's also been some things that the county has requested to be added to the project as well. And so before you for consideration is a 4-month extension totaling $110,516, which would take us from August 1st of 2025 through the end of November to have the same team on board to help us with that additional work to be completed.
Great, well, thank you, Jen. Yeah, in addition to the county making some changes on its own, some of our contractors suggesting some great additions that we hadn't anticipated when the project started, and of course, having the new tenant coming in the one wing of the building. We will need those services for a bit longer.
Additional parking.
And the additional parking project, too.
Yes.
Which is fabulous, but it'll run a little bit behind the rest of the project.
Right.
Commissioner Concepcion, any comments or questions?
Yeah, no, I think it's valuable to have the construction management on site because, for our county staff, it's a little bit too big of a task to bite off to be on site there, all the time when we've got the rest of the county facilities to keep running, so.
Commissioner Dershowitz?
No, I'm fine, thank you.
All right.
Then I'll move to add the contract with Massaro Construction Management Services LLC to next week's consent agenda.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to add the contract with Massaro Construction Management Services, LLC, to next week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. All right, moving on to risk management. Chris has got 2 items for us.
Yes, good morning. As a segue from talking about the Community Services Building, I have 2 items that address some finer details. The first is a contract with our vending company. Currently, we work with Servamation to outfit our courthouse and our courthouse annex with food and beverage vending. And so now we're looping in the Community Services Building, and we are reestablishing a new contract for those 3 buildings that will last for 3 years, from August 15th, 2025 to August 15th, 2028. We're going to have a beautiful new micro market at the CSB building.
Oh, good.
And potentially some new vending machines. So we're just looping all of that contract language to include all those buildings. So we're not dealing with one contract, one building, one contract, the other. So, and then I can go to the next item if you
Well, actually, I
prefer.
think they wanted us to approve them separately.
Okay, sure.
And we do want to thank Servamation Refreshments. I know both the commissioners, administration, and even regular county staff, sometimes meetings start running late, which then another meeting runs late, and before you know it, you've got 15 minutes to eat lunch.
Yes.
And so then the vending machines come in real handy.
Yes, they do. Yep.
Yep.
Commissioner Concepcion.
Yeah, thanks for your work on this. I think it's a real asset.
Sure. Yep.
Thank you, Commissioner Dershowitz.
I'm all good, thank
All
you.
right.
Then I'll move to approve the contract with Servomation Refreshments Incorporated.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the contract with Servomation Refreshments, Inc. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Okay, Krista, if you cover the second.
Okay, as we continue on with the community services building, we're going to be looking to purchase some cleaning equipment for that building. It's 137,000 square feet that we need some new commercial cleaning equipment. In addition to mops and mop buckets, we need floor cleaners and that whatnot. So that amounts to $7,085.79. It was budgeted for the year, and I'm looking for the approval of those items.
Great, thanks, Krista. Yes, substantial increase in the county's footprint.
Yes.
Obviously, we are leasing a lot of space, but still overall,
Yes.
I think it's a big increase.
Mhm.
Any questions from either commissioner on that?
That's good. I will move to add the purchase of equipment from Americam International to next week's consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to add the purchase of equipment from Americam International to next week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great. Thanks, Krista. Now Carrie from Criminal Justice Planning has something interesting and important for us.
Yes. Here to request the board's consideration to sign a one-time contract with Lamar to advertise the upcoming annual Hope Remembrance Ceremony on their digital billboard located in Benner Township for the time period of August 4th through August 31st. The cost to advertise, it's $1,200, but that will be split between the county, and Applegate Recovery has agreed to go in with us on the project. So we'd like to advertise and get more word out about our annual ceremony, which will be Wednesday, August 27th at 6:30 p.m. at Talleyrand Park. So I believe you all have a copy of the image that Jessica designed and worked with Lamar for your review.
Thank you for covering that, Carrie. I've attended those ceremonies for a number of years now. They're very heartfelt and has you understanding the perspective of parents and relatives, siblings, friends, in terms of the addiction epidemic that's swept the entire country, including Center County. I don't know if the press wants to get a little closer shot of that, but that's a mock-up of what the billboard will look like. And since it's at Talleyrand Park, virtually unlimited capacity. I know Commissioner Dershowitz, you've done a lot with that group over the years. I don't know if there's anything you'd like to add?
Well, other than two things. First of all, I appreciate Applegate Recovery.
Yes.
Going in with us for the advertising of the event. Appreciate that, but also the money that we have through the Hope Initiative is a lot of it is donations through folks over the years, and so we have basically, this is, I think, is a prime use for those donations, and it amplifies an event that I think that it's important for the community to recognize. So I would support it wholeheartedly.
Great. Commissioner Concepcion?
Yeah, I think that's a location that's one of the busiest roads in the county, and so hopefully that's somewhere we have the maximum impact in terms of people who would see that notification about this. And, this event is, I think, really important every year that we pause and remember people who have been lost in our community and recognize the families who are, going through those losses. It's important, so. Thank you, and thanks for your work and taking the initiative to put this together.
It was Commissioner Dershow's idea, and so we had Jessica work on the design, and Lamar has been great to work with. 911 had utilized them, so they gave me their contact information, and so.
Good to know.
So that'll be Wednesday, August 27th, 6:30, Talleyrand Park.
Yes.
As I remember, it lasts in the ballpark of an hour or so, sometimes less.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we're normally out before it's super dark in the
Yeah.
evening, but yeah, and we have, we're getting the agenda finalized for the evening. We have some speakers coming from our treatment court program, so, so it'll be a nice evening to remember.
Great. Well, thank you very much. Any questions from the press on this one? No? All right.
Okay, I'll move to add the contract with Lamar to next week's consent agenda.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to add the contract with Lamar to next week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, pose nay. Motion carries. Great. Thanks, Carrie.
Thank you.
Now we have another department head coming out of the green room, Dave Lomison for Transportation.
Hi, good morning. Thank you. Yes, I come and ask for consideration of approval of addendum number 2 with All Pro Fleet Services LLC to provide vehicle maintenance for the business and paratransit fleets. The contract rates for the fleets would remain unchanged from the current rate structure, and it would be for the period of August 1st of 2025 through July 31st of 2026 for both departments, 531, 532.
Great. Well, thanks, Dave, for working on that, and thanks to All Pro Fleet Services for keeping the labor rates unchanged.
Yeah, that's, it's nice that he's able to do that and willing to do that. I can say without question, they're doing a tremendous job for us, meeting our needs. They go above and beyond. They do a lot of extra for us, picking cars up here and at various locations, taking them, servicing them, bringing them back. So we're sort of spoiled right now. They do a wonderful job and work very well with us. So it's nice that they're willing to continue to do that for sure. Yes.
Great. Great to hear, Commissioner Concepcion.
Yeah, thanks for your work on this.
Commissioner Dershowitz.
Well, going back to our previous conversation about Penn State and our relationship, how many vehicles do you think over the course of your tenure here have we transferred from Penn State that would ultimately be serviced by
Oh, my.
these folks?
You're
Take a
putting me on the
guess.
spot. 25 years, I'm going to guess 250 or more,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, I think that gives
a
you
lot.
a perspective of the importance of this relationship that
There's-
we have,
there's-
not only with
Yes.
our vendor, but also with Penn State.
And what we do when we get a Penn State vehicle, which is very well maintained,
Yeah,
we take them directly to our garage. He gives them a look over and makes sure there's nothing outstanding that he can see before we even put it out into use in the field. So, they do that for us, and that relationship obviously is tremendous for the county as well. And we'll be coming at you here soon with some requests.
Good.
There's some vehicles there we want to try to obtain,
Yeah.
so, but both of those entities work very well with us, and I don't know how our fleet could be where it's at without the Penn State vehicles, because if the county had to go out and actually purchase those vehicles directly, that's a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're blessed to have that, yes.
Great. Well, thanks for covering that, Dave.
Yep.
And thanks to Penn State, of course, for continuing to be a great partner. Is that a hand up, Gary?
Dave, any update? It's been 3 weeks now. Any update on the Bellefonte service? How's it going?
Well, absolutely. I actually gave them a briefing last evening at their business meeting. In the first 13 working days of July, we did 64 trips under the Bellefonte sponsorship. Now, that wouldn't include trips that have other sponsors. I'm strictly relating it to the Bellefonte sponsored trips. And at this point, I think they owe us around $1,200 for those trips. So we're well within the amount of money that they have available. They were pleased. When I give them a next update for the whole month, I'm also going to give them trip purpose, which will determine work or groceries. We can pull that data as well. So they were pleased. We're pleased. It averages out about 5 trips a day right now that extra we're doing. So it's not overwhelming. We're able to meet the needs, and I think the people are appreciative that we're transporting. Most of them are work trips going to and from work. So yeah, it's working well so far. Yeah, thanks.
Thanks. Great question, Gary. So thanks to Gary. We now also know that the County Transportation Department's partnership with the Borough of Bellefonte only
Right.
is off to a good start.
Right. Yeah, it has been. I mean, we've had no hiccups that I'm aware of. The staff has been vetting all the processes and making sure they live within the borough limits. So,
All right.
it's working well so far, yes.
Wonderful. All right. Looks like we could take a motion then.
I'll move to approve addendum number 2 with All Pro Fleet Services LLC.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the addendum number 2 with All Pro Fleet Services LLC. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you all very much.
All right, and assuming Quentin's, yep, think I see a sheet of paper. Quentin's coming out of the green room here with two different items.
Yes. So my first item, we'd like consideration and approval for the addendum to the Title 19 grant agreement through Pennsylvania Department of Aging. They're asking for a 3-month extension. This is the funding we receive to provide information and referral for medical assistance programs like the Community Health Choices Waiver. And it would run from July 1st, 2025, or I'm sorry, to September 30th, 2025. And it would be for a total of $8,826.
Great. Well, thank you, Quentin, and glad to see that during the budget impasse, the state's at least sending some funding to aging.
We'll definitely receive the funding. When we receive it, though, will be in question.
Oh, I know. That's why we have a rainy day fund. Commissioner Concepcion.
Yeah, no, thanks for this.
Commissioner Dershowitz.
I'm good, thank you.
I'll move to approve the Title 29 grant agreement addendum.
Second.
She's at, I think it's Title 19.
19, I'm sorry.
19.
Yeah,
Whichever
years
that
of
is.
Latin,
It
which
took me a
somehow
second.
comes in handy.
Yeah,
Yes.
yep,
Yeah.
Title 19.
Yes.
All right, so we have a motion and a second to approve the Title 19 grant agreement addendum. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay. Motion carries. Little Latin joke. What's 4,000 in Latin?
Right.
4 M's.
Yes, I have to work on my Roman numeral
Yeah.
skills.
All right, back to Quentin.
That's it.
Requesting consideration and approval for an agreement with Interfaith Human Services to provide budgeting, counseling, and fiscal management services to qualified older adults. We're looking at a rate of $42 per month per individual, not to exceed $2,520. It's a year agreement from July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026. This is one of the services, again, we have older adults at risk, and this is one of the services that we can use to help support the older adult and hopefully keep them in the community.
That's a wonderful concept, Quentin. We'd like to thank Interfaith Human Services, Inc. for partnering with the county on this service. Any questions, Commissioner Concepcion, Commissioner Dershowitz?
No.
I'll move to add the contract with Interfaith Human Services, Inc. to next week's consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to add the contract with Interfaith Human Services, Inc. to next week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay. Motion carries. Great, thanks, Quentin.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And hopefully now we have, I think I see her, Leah coming out of the green room with 3 items for us. for children.
Good morning, yes.
Morning.
So I am here this morning to request your consideration for 3 contract renewals. Each are for foster care services for some of our placement youth. So the first item is for a contract renewal with Hope's Haven Residential Services to provide foster care residential services for both dependent and delinquent youth. That contract is for $265,000, with the state share being $212,000 and the county share at $53,000 for a period of July 1, 2025 to June 30th of 2026. Hope's Haven is a group home setting, so they have a couple of smaller group homes. They have just a few kids in each particular home, but they're able to provide more specialized treatment for some of our higher needs children. The second contract renewal is for Kids Peace National Centers to provide foster care residential services for both dependent and delinquent youth. Kids Peace provides foster care services as well as group home services and diagnostic treatment for dependent and delinquent youth. This particular contract total is for $50,000, with the state share at $40,000 and the county share at $10,000 for the same period of July 1 of 2025 to June 30th of 2026. And then the final renewal I have for you is the Bear Foundation. They provide foster care services for both dependent and delinquent youth. Their particular contract total is for $40,000 with the state share of $32,000 and the county share of $8,000 for the same contract period of July 1, 2025 to June 30th of 2026.
Thank you, Leah, and
Welcome.
definitely like to thank these human service agencies, but also especially our foster parents.
Yes.
Always looking for more. Contact children and youth, and if you can't quite be a foster parent, but you'd love to deliver a casserole, run errands, etc., but we're also taking assistance for that too.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yes, we're always looking for foster parents and always, there are always ways to support foster parents in the county.
Commissioner Concepcion, anything?
No, I think that
Commissioner
covers it.
Dershowitz?
All good?
All right.
Okay, I'll move to add the Children and Youth Services items 1, 2, and 3 to next week's consent agenda.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to add the 3 Children and Youth Services items to next week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thanks
Thank
again.
you.
Thanks
Thank
to
you.
your staff as well.
Thank you.
And Faith is all ready to go with 6 items for adult services.
Good morning.
Morning.
My first item is a grant agreement with HUD for the continuation of the Center County Rapid Rehousing Program. This would go from October 1st, 2025 to September 30th of 2026, and it's for $435,419. My second is a contract renewal with Center Helps. This is for their information referral line. It would be the state fiscal year at $70,000. Third item is a contract renewal with Center Safe for their bridge transitional housing. Again, same fiscal year, and it would be $73,545. Contract renewal with Housing Transitions for bridge transitional housing. Their contract total is $59,924. Contract renewal with Housing Transitions. This is their coordinated entry walk-in center. This is how we interact and enroll people into what we call our Housing First programs, and also receive referrals for other services as well. And this contract is for $61,059. And the final is a contract renewal with Center Volunteers in Medicine for Basic Needs Medical Case Management Program, and that's $11,665.
Great. Thanks for covering
Yep.
those, Faith. And
Sure.
notice we have some of our all-stars here amongst the
We
human
do.
service agencies, Center Volunteers in Medicine, Center Helps, Center Safe, Housing Transitions, tremendous groups that are always looking for charitable donations for the
Absolutely.
folks at home.
Yep.
Commissioner Concepcion?
Yeah, thanks for this, and I think this kind of highlights how these partnerships are really crucial to how we provide services in Center County. And one of the advantages of working with these kinds of nonprofit groups is that they can do their own fundraising and development efforts as well and stretch further the amount of
Yes.
services that can be
Absolutely.
provided. So for those in the community who want to, make a difference in terms of whether it's housing insecurity, safety for people who have been victims of domestic violence, people who have insecurity regarding healthcare access, these are some great organizations to consider for your charitable donations.
They're great partners.
Commissioner Dershowitz?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, that's a great point, Commissioner Concepcion. Here in Center County, we've worked for decades to develop relationships with nonprofits so the county can kind of fund the basics from our state and federal funding, and then the charity can layer on additional services to enhance things and do some of the coordination of care so that the county doesn't need to do that. Really appreciate those partnerships.
Yep.
I will move to add adult service items 1 through 6 to next week's consent agenda.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to add the 6 adult services items to next week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great.
All right,
Thanks,
thank you.
Faith. And then Kathy's ready from the Super Department MHIDEI, Drug and Alcohol, with a super number of contracts.
But we can go through these pretty quickly.
All right.
The first agenda item, though, is specific to mental health. And I'm here today to ask that the board consider accepting the grant award and funding from the Office of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services for our first episode psychosis program. We've received the grant award, and they are now asking for a formal acceptance of the funds that they are providing to us. The first episode psychosis program is just that. Our goal in this program is to identify individuals, young people, who are experiencing their first episode of psychosis. And the program is very structured, and it gets people connected to a regimented treatment program, which includes medication management, therapy, case management, peer support, and provides them with a treatment protocol that helps them to stabilize and get back on track with their lives. The grant for this year has a sizable increase, about $75,000, and allows us to connect Huntington, Mifflin, and Juniata counties with our program. HMJ has identified a case management provider, a peer specialist provider, and has transportation funds so that the individuals that they identify from their counties can come over to Oasis Life Care, who is our provider for med management and therapy, to come over and be part of this program as well. The state is very impressed with the program that we're offering, and so we are able to expand with this additional money. We can expand the program and offer it to more individuals. So this is a great opportunity, and so the grant award is $281,565.78, and is for the time period July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026. And the state has assured us that if we identify more individuals who would benefit from this program, that they have additional dollars that they can make available to us.
Great, thanks for covering that, Kathy. And I remember from our informational meetings, sometimes it's a young adult and it just hits them from completely out of the blue. They don't know what to do, they don't know where to turn. They either don't have health insurance or it's not the best health insurance.
Correct.
We're there to assist them.
And if they do have insurance or Medicaid, we will utilize those resources first, and the grant funds will be used second.
All right. Any questions from either commissioner on that one? All right. We'll take a motion just for this one first.
Okay, I'll move to accept the grant award funds for the first episode psychosis program.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the grant award funds for the first episode psychosis program. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay. Motion carries, and now you've got 8 items. I think they're almost all contract addendums.
Yes, and they're almost all identical. We have 8 addendas for our drug and alcohol department. Now, our drug and alcohol department operates, and the majority of the funding and the structure of our program comes from the Department of Drug and Alcohol Programs. And we have what they refer to as a grant agreement with the department that the commissioners sign. And it's a 5-year grant agreement, and it provides all of the requirements and specifications for how we operate. It includes all the specifics for our contracts. It includes a fiscal manual, an operations manual, a manual for prevention, and a manual for case management and treatment. And there are specifics within those documents that we pass on to our providers. And that is a 5-year grant agreement that is renewed and updated throughout the 5-year period, and then we get a whole new agreement every 5 years. Our most recent agreement ran from 2020 through 2025, and it just so happens this year the department is not quite ready with the new grant agreement to run from 2025 through 2030. So a few weeks ago, the commissioner signed off on an extension of the current grant agreement to run through December 31st of 2025. So the department has advised all of the county offices to extend their current contracts with their providers through December 31st of 2025 to match our agreement with the state. And then once our grant agreement with the state is updated, then we can issue new contracts to our providers and for the new fiscal year. So what you have before you are contract addendas with our treatment providers and our prevention providers and our consultants to addend our current DNA contracts for 24-25 and extend them through December 31st. That way our DNA contracts match our grant agreement with the state. And then as soon as we have a new grant agreement with the state, then we will issue new contracts with our DNA providers. So what we're simply doing is estimating what we would do for a full year, 6-month agreement. We have 8 agreements here this week. We're looking at about 6 for next week for the commissioners to review. And then we probably have about 5 more that we'll be getting in from our providers. And then we'll be set for the next 6 months. And then as soon as things are updated with the state, we'll review that document, have it before the commissioners, and then we'll get things squared away with the providers. So what we have today, the first one is a contract addendum with Crossroads Counseling, 6-month extension, and they provide outpatient, intensive outpatient recovery support, case management, and medication-assisted treatment. The majority of this funding is state funding. County match is $3,342. The total 6-month agreement is $72,500, and all of these are for the time period July 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025. The second addendum is with Pyramid Healthcare, 6-month extension. They have technical terms now. I'll use the terms that we know most familiar to us. Pyramid does detox, rehab, outpatient, case management, and medication-assisted treatment. This contract total is $22,500. $10,000 of that is state, $12,500 is federal, for the same time period. Third contract addendum is with Sinclair Child Services, 6-month extension, outpatient, intensive outpatient, case management, and medication-assisted treatment. Contract total $12,500. Most of that is state. The county match is $576, same 6-month time period. The next contract addendum is with Housing Transitions, 6-month extension. They do emergency housing assistance for individuals with a substance use disorder. Contract total, $2,500. Most of that is state funding. The county match portion is $116, same 6-month period. Next contract addendum is with Community Integrations, 6-month extension. They do emergency transport when we need them. Estimated total is $2,500, state funding, same 6-month period. The next contract addendum is Treatment Trends, 6-month extension. They do inpatient treatment for us, case management, and medication-assisted treatment. They also have a halfway house program that we use on occasion. Estimated total, $2,500, state funding, same 6-month period. The next contract addendum, Avenues to Recovery Medical Center at Valley Forge. This is an inpatient hospital program, 6-month extension. They can also do regular rehab and detox for us if we need them to, case management and medication-assisted treatment. We estimate that cost at $2,500, state funding, same 6-month period. And the last one, contract addendum with Colleen Heim, 6-month extension. She does consultation services, training, and presentations, mostly in the area of student assistance for us and our SAP teams. $1,250, state funding on that contract, and for the same 6-month period.
Great. Well, thanks for covering all that, Kathy. It sounds like there's a little bit of a relationship here with the state budget and the workload. Sorry for the additional paperwork, but at least we're going to be able to provide these services to Center County citizens and keep critical nonprofits funded.
That's exactly right. We do the paperwork, we keep things going, and do what we need to do to keep services on.
All right. Commissioner Concepcion, anything?
That all makes sense.
Commissioner Dershowitz?
It's all good.
All right.
I'll move to add the MHID, EI, DNA items 2 through 9 to next week's consent agenda.
Second.
We have motion and a second to add the MHID, EI, drug and alcohol items 2 through 9 to next week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay. Motion carries. Great. Thanks, Kathy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we have a fairly small consent agenda today.
I'll move to approve this week's consent agenda.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve this week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay. Motion carries. Moving on to the check run, Commissioner Concepcion.
Yeah, the check that I'll like to recognize today is to the Center County Public Safety Training Center. Center County government owns that training center. We provide for operational funding so that the training center can provide really crucial training for emergency responders, including fire companies and EMS and other whether it's law enforcement. There's a number of different emergency responders who use that for their training. And with that, I would move to approve the check run that is dated July 18th, 2025.
I will second that, and then after our meeting, at the end of our meeting, I would like to share some very good news in regard to that conversation.
All right.
I'm all for that.
All right. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. I was just up at the Public Safety Training Center last week for a fire chiefs meeting. And the Pine Glen Fire Company was there with their new tanker. They were utilizing the oldest tanker in Pennsylvania. It was a Studebaker. And I believe Senator Dush and State Representative Paul Takak worked together to get them a grant that paid for the vehicle. So thanks to our state senator and representative for getting that through.
I hope the Studebaker stays.
Well, they have to keep it because a couple of the hunting camp trails are so narrow, the new tanker can't fit down the roads.
So we'll keep the antique one on.
So they'll keep the antique one for the occasional
Great.
fire to camp that the new one can't get to.
Okay.
All right, so it's always something. So for the administrator's report, John, I think you might have one for us today.
I do for quarter two.
All right.
So, Resolution 1 of 2025 allows the county administrator to execute any financial documents which do not exceed $32,500, and only in those circumstances where funding for such has been approved and allocated within the county's annual budget or previously approved in a public session. Similarly, expenditures of no more than $32,500 may be authorized using contingency operating funds. There's also a provision in there for any authorizations of emergency expenditures, which the administrator would then have to bring before you at the next public session for ratification. Overall, there were 41 such authorizations performed during the second quarter of 2025, with individual monetary values ranging from zero cost to $30,000. Of the 41 authorizations, 12 were software tech-related services or renewals valued at $96,659.05. 4 items for operational or maintenance items costing $5,218.17. 21 items associated with human services with a total amount of $350,000. 1 item was approved for legal consultation services costing $10,000. 2 insurance-related items were approved costing $33,250. And finally, 1 security item was approved in quarter 2 costing $4,675. The grand total of all expenditures authorized by the administrator in quarter 2 of 2025 is $499,802.22.
Great, thanks for covering that, John. That is 41 items that we didn't have to go over in public session.
Or delay.
And we're obviously running over a bit today, but I checked, I don't think we have an 11 o'clock meeting this morning, so.
No.
We're good for running over. Well, thank you, John. Any questions from either commissioner on that report?
Nope, it's all good.
All right. Moving on to the voter registration report.
So today, we have 101,624 total voters registered in Center County. That's up 29 from last week. Of those voters, we have Democratic voters numbering 41,255, Green Party 160, Libertarian 557, those with no affiliation 15,607, Republican voters 42,035, and all of the other minor parties at 2,010 voters, bringing us to 101,624 registered voters. Our precinct of the week this week is Precinct 10, Phillipsburg 1. There are 498 total registered voters in Precinct 10. They had a voter turnout of 19.3% in the last election in the primary. They vote at St. Peter and Paul Catholic Church at 400 South Front Street in Phillipsburg, and we would like to thank the Church of St. Peter and Paul for the use of their facility for elections. That's the report.
Great. Thank you, Commissioner Concepcion. We do have general announcements. Steve, do you want to do yours now or immediately before press?
I'll wait.
Immediately before press? Okay. Keep them in suspense.
That's right.
All right. John, do we have any executive sessions to report or to hold?
None to hold. On July 17th, the board met from 10:03 to 10:48 a.m. to discuss legal matters. And the board met from 10:48 to 10:57 a.m. on the same day to discuss a real estate matter.
All right, so one executive session, kind of, but 2 different matters.
2 different matters, yes.
All right. Moving on to our public meeting schedule on Tuesday, July 22nd, which is today, we have an Employee Benefits Trust meeting starting at 1. Thursday, the 24th, Combined Salary Board and Board of Commissioners meeting. And then on Thursday, July 29th, Standard Commissioners meeting at 10. So now we're almost to the very end, Steve.
Okay.
So
Is it my time?
it's your time.
All right. Well, to go back to Amber's comments about CPI, we've had a long-standing relationship with CPI. I think we're all very proud of that. Our public safety training site, I think we've got so much to be proud of and pleased with in that regard. And their adult post-secondary education program has just been recognized by USA Today as a top technical school in the USA and the
Great.
#1 school in the state of Pennsylvania.
Oh, that's great.
Wow,
And
that's some
I-
competition.
Yeah, and as we move forward, and why I think this is particularly significant, we've been working very hard. I know Natalie Corman and everybody in this board has been striving to take the next step and doing a big education building out there as part of our partnership that will be used for their health science program and our emergency services training. And this just demonstrates once again how important that relationship is and how great that program is that CPI is running. But that's the adult post-secondary program, best in the state of Pennsylvania, one of the best in the country, and that's
Who was the group
recognized.
that recognized it?
USA Today.
I would say,
So-
That's
oh, wow.
fantastic.
Yeah.
So.
We should have them in for congratulations.
Yeah, I think that's a big deal, and I think it demonstrates the program that they have, and it just that's something.
Yeah.
It's really
That's-
something.
Yeah,
It's
see-
something we know locally that's being
Yes.
recognized nationally. So.
That's really
See if we can bring them in
fantastic.
soon, John, to talk about that. That's great news, and everyone knows CPI has been doing a fabulous job, but it's always nice to get
Yeah,
recognized.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they fill really an important niche in our community in terms
do.
of adult education. I think people come from numerous counties around to attend.
Oh yeah, their
programs there.
their nursing
Oh, yeah.
programs are top notch, and their whole technical education program is top notch. So yeah, just wanted to share that. 'Cause I
Wonderful.
thought it
That's
was
great
Yeah,
news.
kind of
That's great
kind of a fun thing to celebrate.
It
Yeah,
is.
that's wonderful.
Yep.
Thank you, Steve. Always great to have good news to announce.
Absolutely.
And we'll take questions from the press.
John, the Penn State pilot agreement, are there other entities besides the county involved?
The county negotiated its own individual agreement with the university this time around.
Can you give us a figure, 2024, how much it's worth to the county?
Well, it's a mix of in-kind services and monetary value. So the focus of our negotiations really dealt around a lot with the in-kind services, such as different types of offerings that the university may have to the county relative to educational opportunities for our staff professional development, as well as in-kind through some of their other departments like the vehicles. That was another one that we secured.
Is there a percentage increase every year over the 20 years?
It's every 2 years. There's an inflationary adjustment to the base numbers.
Can we reveal yet who the private vendor is going to be at the community services building? Are we getting a new restaurant? Are we getting a sign?
No, we're not getting a restaurant.
We're
No,
not
it's-
getting a sign?
It's a human services agency
Okay.
that we've worked with for several decades.
Here's that
And,
Facebook page.
Their current building is very cramped and there's virtually no parking. So they are really looking forward to being able to move in, but due to negotiation timelines, we didn't get that signed until a couple months ago. So we're only just getting ready to start the construction.
The entire building is zoned for government offices, so it will be all our offices or ancillary services.
Not speculation, the restaurant was moving in.
No. Sorry. it'd
We
be
can
fun.
only wish.
It'd be fun, but no,
All right.
no. Other questions from Gary or? Yeah, Jacob.
A couple for the community services voting based off of what Gary said. You said that there were a couple of recommendations from the county and elsewhere. Would you be at liberty to discuss what some of those recommendations or new additions to the voting would be?
Well, John would know in a little more detail than I would, but I will mention that after extensive discussions, we realized that we could add substantial additional parking to the facility. I think one of the contractors said, your back service lane here is was pretty beat up to start with, and now it's even more beat up. While we're paving the parking lot, why don't we come pave this too? And they gave us a very reasonable price. So we went forward with that as well. But John, if you've got some additional details on that.
As far as other changes that occurred?
Yeah.
Well, just like, so this building was built over multiple decades in different phases. There's basically 3 generations of construction in one facility. And with that came a lot of unknowns when it came to what would we find once we did the demolition and found things behind the walls. So some of those change orders were things that we just could not foresee without first doing demo. So that's where some of the change orders came in. Then there were some other things that as the project evolved and moved along, the county felt that there were minor alterations that would be beneficial to the overall operations of the building, and we made some adjustments along the way. Other things that have been improved are accessibility to the building for the public.
And then you said that this was going up until November. Is that when this project is going to be anticipated to be complete? I know that there was some excitement about maybe potentially getting in there this summer, but.
Well, to be clear, we're still shooting for occupancy by August 1st.
Yeah.
And these other projects will run concurrently.
Oh, that won't. Oh, okay. I was
Right.
misunderstanding that, I think.
Right.
Thank you.
Sure.
Any additional questions from the press?
Any update from the DOC?
Have not heard anything. We keep checking, we're listening, we're hoping that perhaps it's not going to be a double closure, but it's not our decision. We're awaiting whatever comes.
And whenever they first delayed the decision, like at the beginning of June,
Yeah.
you said that no news may be good news. Do you still feel that way?
We're still hoping that there might be a possibility of maybe keeping a portion of at least one of the facilities open. Obviously, our best case scenario is they make some changes and they keep both facilities open. But not up to us. We've advocated very strongly for the employees at both of those facilities, many of whom live in Center County, and the potential harm that it will do to the local economy and services in Center County. Obviously, I know some of the families are getting a little impatient because do they sign leases? Do they purchase a new car? Do the longer commuting distances, et cetera, which I know is stressful for them.
Our state attorney general just recently indicated the value and potential successes that the Queehana Boot Camp had. And I think as time goes on, those stories will come out and continue to come out. And I think that's a very positive thing for the future. It's tough to shut something down if there's an outcry of success. So hopefully those stories will continue.
Thank you.
Thanks. Any other questions from the press? No? All right. Unless there's anything else for the good order, we'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor of adjourning at 11:08, do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, pose nay. Motion carries. We are adjourned.